Yes, I won't pick up the phone after about 8 o'clock. Having said that, if a deal's going down, which often are at night, then you're just trying to get that together, because the reason why it goes at night. So let's say, for example, you've got a client that's been out to look at a property at 12 noon, for example. Let's say it's a couple. So they've been out to have a look at it, and then they might have then gone back to work, and then they've got to get back together to talk about it, and then they've got to sign the paperwork, and it comes to me, and then I've got to check it, and then it goes to the agent, and they put it on the contract, and then it comes back, it's got to get checked again. Then it goes, each of them have to sign it, and they might be in different spots, so then get them to sign it, and then it's got to go to the vendor, the vendor's got to sign. So you can see how this can go on.
Welcome to Conversations with Faye. I'm your host, and my guest is Wendy Chamberlain. And Wendy is a Melbourne buyer and vendor advocate. She also specialises in helping first and dream home buyers who are busy professionals buy their homes. And she's also known as the Property Mama podcast host. And I find that quite interesting, so we'll talk about that. And she also reveals the secrets of buying in real estate. Welcome, Wendy, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Faye. Lovely to be here today.
Oh, look, you know, there's a lot of information about real estate, the health and well-being of people that work in the real estate industry and all those sorts of things. But firstly, what I want you to do is share a little bit about how you got into real estate, a little bit of your backstory.
You know, it's 30 years this year for me buying real estate.
Really?
It's my 30th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Started when I was young.
Congratulations.
So my background is corporate IT.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in the corporate world, and I was a senior IT project manager, and I got to the point of being so stressed by 2006, I think it was, that I was throwing up every morning at the thought of going to work.
Really?
Yeah. That's how stressed I was getting. And that was by November of that year. And I went to the doctor, I just did all the tests and everything, and she said, there's nothing wrong with you just need a lifestyle change. So I gave up the corporate world and started running my own business, and I started with showing women how to get started in real estate, how to buy real estate for investment purposes initially. And all of these symptoms that I'd had for the lead up of those 12 months, with the crescendo, if you like, in November, they went in 2 weeks.
Disappeared completely.
Disappeared completely because I wasn't following my passion, and I was just stressed off my nut, really. And so when I had that change of direction, then things just, I was much happier. Having said that, we're in the world of real estate now.
And it's a big area, isn't it? It's pretty full on. It can be pretty cutthroat.
Yes, it can be.
Yeah, you know, the competition's out there, and who gets the best deal and this, that, and everything else. So what was it like when you first entered real estate?
Well, see, as I said, I've been buying and selling real estate for ourselves for coming now 30 years this year. And so I don't think in relation to being cutthroat that has changed at all, because obviously real estate agents, they make money or get paid by having a house to sell.
Yeah.
And if you look at people talking about underquoting is the bane of the buying world, because people don't understand. Real estate's a game.
It is a game.
And the underquoting that happens is part of the game. Because I talk about this and I say that the actual sale of the home to some extent becomes a byproduct, and yes, the agent gets paid that way, but it's them making sure they're getting the next listing or they're getting people on their database, and it's a manipulation that happens because a guide price, which is what is advertised, and then it sells for way over. People go, oh my God, it's gone so much further over, da da da. Number one, I would say do your own due diligence as to where a property's going to land. But the thing is, there's a reason they do this, because they know the person at the bottom of the guide price who shows up thinking they can buy this house, they're never going to be able to buy the house. But they need them there to create that FOMO competition for the person that can afford to buy the house. So it's always been this cutthroat industry within the industry that when I'm talking to real estate agents as a buyer's advocate, buyer's agent, then we get access to so many properties that are not yet advertised.
Yeah.
The off-market market. And people are surprised when they find out that at least 40%, it's probably closer to 50% of the market is not even advertised.
Yeah.
And so if people are only looking on domain or real estate, they're totally missing out on half the market. Even when I was coming here today, I was talking to agents and they said, I've got this off-market one. So they tell us all about these. Now, they can get a little cagey when they're talking to you because they are always talking to vendors, but they may not have signed it up yet. Now, I'm not here to cut anyone's lunch, and so I get told about all these properties that they're not even signed up yet because they know that I'm not about that. So if it's going to suit my client, they'll talk to the vendor, they get it all signed up. But they're very, very strategic and always making sure that they're the first in line because people do people things. And you might be talking to someone and, I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to list with you. And then this person walks in and for some reason they just sign it up with them, even though this person might have been having 6+ months conversations with them. So what I'm saying about it being so cutthroat is they can't necessarily trust the next person because you just don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Having said that, there are amazing people in real estate. There are lots of great agents.
Yes.
And we deal with lots of great agents. But unfortunately, as an industry,
like any industry, really, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
It's like any industry. It takes like a handful of the bad apples to really cause people to have such a distrust. And I think because real estate is such a barbecue topic, when people go to barbecues, everyone's got an opinion.
And it's a bit like buying and selling cars. It's a similar thing, isn't it?
And they have changed the rules in Victoria, certainly, but it's always been a very low bar to entry.
Right.
It used to be that to get started, all you needed was an agent's rep.
Right.
Certificate, and it was 4 modules.
That's it.
That's all it was, and one of them was ethics.
Oh, right, okay.
But it was 4 modules. Now, they did change that a little while ago, and now you have to get a certificate for, which can take 12 months and so forth.
Yeah.
But I suppose, to some extent, the damage was already done insofar as you had people going, oh, I'm seeing these flashy cars and the watches and they're all making all this money. I'm going to do that because I'll make lots of money. They're not seeing the hours.
Not necessarily the case. And it's not 9 to 5, is it?
No.
It's 9 till midnight sometimes, those sorts of things. And working on public holidays and Christmas Day. I've known real estate agents to close a deal on Christmas Day and those sorts of things. So, yeah, it's 24/7.
It is 24/7, and I don't think that's what people realise. And there is this expectation of people looking to buy a home that the agent is available to them all the time.
And the agents have lives.
They do.
But we as consumers don't consider that because we're in an emotional heightened state and we want to know about this property now or as in yesterday.
Correct.
And they don't consider that someone has an actual life.
I tell you, because my one day that I take off is a Sunday.
Right.
And I protect that, unless I'm dying in an area where there's an auction on a Sunday. But most of the time, my day off is Sunday. So you're working 6 days a week.
Yep.
And we had a property that had gone to the auction on the Saturday. This was only a couple of weeks ago. And it got passed in, which we knew it was going to get passed in. So we started negotiating for it. And this went on spilled into the Sunday. Now, I can tell you I was not happy about that.
Well, particularly when you only get one day off a week, it's really important.
Ask my husband, I was...
But the thing is that, you've got to have that time out for your own health and well-being, for your own sanity, and not have to think about work, which can be very difficult when you're in a situation like that.
Absolutely correct. And that's why I started getting really annoyed. The people are ringing and I was 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock to the agent. She was getting annoyed because she get people work shifts and so forth. It was the vendor dragging her fees. They get time. And when I'm following up trying to find out where it's at, because everything was agreed, we just have to get it at signed.
Right.
Yes. And the message came back, oh, she's out. Phone after she's out about 8 o'clock on the Sunday, like when it was my day off. Having said that, she's out. If a deal's going down, which did you not know? We don't work right. Then you're there's just not trying to get that together because the reason understanding why it goes at night. So let's say, for example, you've got a client that's been out to look at a property at 12 noon, for example. Let's say it's a couple. So they've been out to have a look at it, and then they might have then gone back to work, and then they've got to get back together to talk about it, and then they've got to sign the paperwork, and it comes to me, and then I've got to check it, and then it goes to the agent, and they put it on the contract, and then it comes back, it's got to get checked again. Then it goes, each of them have to sign it, and they might be in different spots, so then get them to sign it, and then it's got to go to the vendor's got to sign. So you can see how this can go on for a number of hours, but obviously that's the pointy end of the equation. That's the point of the game, is to buy houses for clients. So that's why it can drag on that way. But if I don't know who it is, or if it's not important, insofar as it can wait till tomorrow, then I will let it go to voicemail.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
Yeah. For your own sanity and well-being, really, you have to let it go. And people, do you ever say to them that, if it's really important, I'll take your call, but if I think it can hold off until tomorrow, we'll leave it until tomorrow?
I do, and in our paperwork, when a new client comes on board, that they get, obviously we have to gather a number of bits of information from them. We have in there that we don't work on Sundays.
Right, yeah.
And I have to deliberately not reply on Sundays.
But what about during the week, and it's say 9, 10 o'clock at night?
I won't pick it up.
Yeah.
Unless I know that it's something really urgent. And urgent is that I know that we've got, they've been out to see a property and we're in the process and they like it and we need to get an offer together and so forth. But I'm not going to do that at 10 o'clock at night. No.
I mean, I'm thinking it's a bit like when you're watching a screen and then you go to bed, your mind's still going with talking to someone at 10 o'clock at night, and you're trying to relax before you go to bed and forget about things. It just stimulates the mind, and the mind goes...
your mind gets G'd up, and it's no good. Actually, in one of my podcast episodes last year, one of the agents, he was trying to get the deal together. So this was going to auction on the Saturday, but there was no one else really, and so it sort of flipped into being a negotiation to try and buy this property. And this started on the Monday, and by the Thursday, he'd rung me at 8 o'clock. Because he's trying to, it might have been the Wednesday, he's trying to get the deal together and he's trying to attack it from different angles, And I'm relaying everything to my client, who are interstate, and we'd finished the conversation. Next thing, the phone rings at 10 o'clock. And I picked it up, I said, "Did you mean to ring me? Because you're here." And I said, "Are you lonely?" I was like, "Why are you ringing me?" It's like, because he's had another thought about this. Now, that didn't need to be happening at 10 o'clock at night. He could have done it the next morning.
Yes. But they don't stop to think. I think the emotions take over, or there's something that takes over, and they want to get it done. They feel like they're under pressure and all this sort of stuff, because you are under pressure, aren't you?
So he was under pressure because he had nobody else, and they had taken on this sale because another agent had mucked it up, or they hadn't. The vendor had not got a result with another agent maybe 12 months prior. So, and again, all of this work and effort and time and everything, if they don't actually sell the house, they don't get paid.
Yeah.
And one of the things that sellers and buyers don't realise is that $50,000 is a lot of money for a buyer to pay extra, or for a vendor to get in their pocket. It's only a few $100s in commission.
Yes.
So the agent is on both sides. They're trying to push the buyer up, they're trying to push the vendor down.
Yeah.
Like, obviously not in all cases, but too many cases. They're trying to get a deal together, and they don't care if they bring them up and then down, and then they get the deal done. That's all they really care about. There are a lot of agents that are transactional. That's how I refer to them.
What do you mean by transactional?
They just want the deal done.
Right, so there's no emotion, there's no thought, there's no feeling in it. It's just a job. Let's do it. Let's finish it off, and I'll move on to the next.
The way they're making money. So there's no care, and could even say respect, for the fact that they're working for the vendor. I love buying from transactional agents because I can spot them, and I know, because I'm looking out for my client to buy a property, and I will bulldoze whoever's in the way to get them out of the way. If you're between me and my property, I'll bulldoze you out of the way to get the property if that's what they want.
Right.
Because that's my job.
Right.
To do that. And if I come across a transactional agent and I go ripperoonie, because I know that they will do whatever they need to do to get the deal together. You do get great agents who are working on behalf of their vendor, and they're a hard nut to crack. And that's really who you want selling your house.
Yeah.
But there's not as many of those.
And it's interesting, isn't it, when you've got all these... A person sells their home, they might have had it for 30 or 40 years. There's an emotion in that because they're selling, and they've got to move all their stuff and find somewhere else to live, downsize or move states or whatever it is. So there's a lot of emotion in selling a house, and they look at the value of their house from when they first bought it to now, and the prices have increased or they're on a level or whatever it might be. But it's interesting that they need to look at it logistically as you say, as a transaction. Look at it, right, okay, I'm selling my home, I know I feel this emotion, but what are the steps that I need to take to get what I want and need to move to the next property or whatever it is?
I have found that sellers are far more emotional than a buyer, because it's exactly what you're saying there. You've got often years of memories. We've just sold a house for a client locally around here actually, that they had to take, they had the original house that they had bought however many years ago, and then at some point they had knocked that over and built side-by-side houses, and so they've been living in one and they'd sold the other one. They had taken the, the measuring where the little children stand against the wall, and they, as they grow, they measure them. They had taken that off the wall and then put that into on the wall in the pantry of the new home.
Right.
So then now with this house being sold, to get it ready for sale, they took that off the wall again and patched it up and everything, took that. So that's an example of the emotion that goes into selling a home. And when you've got older people with all of those memories, or even if you've got family because the person's passed away or gone into care, it is a lot for them. And we're in that industry where if the agent comes in just smelling dollars, they will say what they need to say, but then the intentions aren't in the right place.
Yeah.
So where you find someone, we had a really amazing agent who understood and so forth, and that's something very important. But that's why we do vendor advocacy as well, because I often find with an older client, we're talking in their 80s, they don't even really know how to use all the electronic stuff. You need to sit down with them, print it out and go through it so they understand everything, and that takes a little bit of time, but that's what's important to them, to understand what they're signing.
Very much so, and it's not just going in and saying you need to sign this is okay, it'll be fine, all the rest of it. Don't brush them off.
That's what some of them do.
Give them the opportunity to ask questions, and there's no such thing as a dumb question. Ask the questions and, feel comfortable with the person they're dealing with. And this is a really important part of any industry. It's feeling comfortable asking the questions, and that person's going to be honest, and if they don't know, they'll find out for you, whatever it may be. But with older adults, with the emotion, younger people are different because they I'm going to say, and this just came to mind, they house hop.
I like the job hop.
Yeah, they house hop because, and it's like rentals and things like that, but they'll have a house and they'll live in it for a while and they'll get sick of it because they want something bigger and more shiny and all this sort of stuff.
It's different.
And there are emotions not in it, like an older person that's lived in a house for a long, long time.
That's exactly right, because this particular home, they had taken they had a name on it, so that name was put onto it's on the fence, and they took the original numbers from that house and they had put that in the garden as well. And I love this client because she's in her 80s, but she bakes. So she bakes, like old style baking.
Oh yeah.
So she knew that whenever I came over, and we'd sit for hours and we'd chat, because she reminded me of my mum. And we'd sit and chat for hours, and she'd bake me Anzac cookies, and I'd always take a box home to my husband as well.
Nice.
But it's things like that, but just sitting and chatting about the history of the home, because they had taken the fireplace that they'd put into this home was from the 1853 in her family's original home in St Kilda.
Wow.
And it's this marble that's around on the fireplace. They had taken it and put it into the home. So it's things like that that are important, and making sure that the real estate agent understands all of that. So they are sharing that with the person that's going to be buying the house, because it's that history, because that history can kind of get lost.
History does get lost if a person doesn't care about it. But when you've got someone who is older, I mean, it's a legacy, isn't it? It's taking that legacy from one place to the next to the next. And that can be quite emotional if it doesn't happen, because that memory is lost forever. And I think, you know, I know people who record people's legacies, their story, their history, and that can be passed on for generations. And little things like a fireplace, or the measurements of the grandchildren or the children, or whatever it might be.
Well, it's both, yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of their legacy, so they want to carry it on. And there's photos in the house, there's photos outside the house, there's all these sorts of things that are emotional attachments.
They really are.
To a property. But as I said, with young people, that doesn't really happen. It's kind of like a disposable society, and you know, you get things and you think, oh, I don't want that anymore, I'll just go and get something else. But for older adults, it's different.
But I do think that society has now been geared that way. We are very much the sharing economy, the disposable economy, even with the way things are made these days.
Oh God, they're not
made the same. They're not generally handmade, and nobody repairs things. Things just get thrown out.
That's right. And you know, beautiful furniture which is dovetailed, and
yes,
all this sort of thing which I absolutely love. You know, hence my piano behind me. And I think that it's a part of my journey, and it's a part of my children's journey, and you know, who knows where it'll go. But I think that we have to stop and think about what things really mean in our life these days. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram. Changing lives, one conversation at a time.